Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It seems like the war of words escalates between China and United States and Great Britain. I have two articles um, dealing with the same subject, and the first one comes from Fox News from today, July 7, 2022. And it says China fires back, calls US the biggest threat to the world peace, stability and development after FBI warning. Now the other article comes from Associated Press and from the same day, July 7th, and it's titled China lashes out at US British intelligence services. All right, let's start with Associated Press. The United States is, and I'm quoting, the biggest threat to world peace, stability, and development, China said Thursday, continuing its sharp rhetoric in response to US accusations of Chinese spying and threats to the international order. Foreign Ministry spokesman, but I know Zhao Lijian, comments came a day after the head of FBI and the leader of Britain's domestic intelligence agency raised fresh alarms about the Chinese government, warning business leaders that Beijing is determined to steal their technology for competitive gain. Now, why is always these guys start? Why is it that these guys always start always? Most of the time, I would say, and a proportion of about 98% from the articles I read, and it's American articles, and media and British English-speaking world. And these countries, Great Britain and United States, they have this, as I think Lavrov said one time, they have this bad mannerism in always in calling other people names and acting morally superior. They have this bad habit. That's what you said, and I think it's correct. They have this bad habit in calling before they want to achieve something, they call you names because they try to put you in a moral, disarm you. This is another technique that happens here in the United States. Therefore, you have the so-called white guilt. They want to keep you morally disarmed by calling you names and trying to somehow connect you as an individual with a group and some people that you have no connection with them uh, or their actions that some that we know by name did to some other people. I don't know how many years back, hundreds of years I'm talking, not 20. And they try to disarm you morally so you can't intellectually debate and say, what the hell are you talking about? You're a hack. So the same here. I've observed this, that they start with calling names or calling you about something that you didn't do, something immoral. Like if you remember, Blinken came to India and tried the same thing with the foreign minister Jai Shankar. When it was that meeting, two plus two, and the prime minister is a smart. He is not going with Blinken, 86 IQ. So the same. He said, "Don't lecture us. Look in your yard. Take care of your little hands over there." So, the heightened tone comes ahead of a meeting Saturday between U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi again. Wang Yi is going to beat him over his butt at the group of 20 leading rich and developing nations ministers summit in Bali, Indonesia. The relevant U.S. politician has been playing up the so-called China threat to smear and attack China, Zhao told reporters at a daily briefing when asked about FBI Director Christopher Wray's comments, reaffirming long-standing concerns in denouncing economic espionage. Who's talking about economic espionage? Remember that even Merkel was tapped by the CIA? It was about, I can't remember, 10 years ago. Her cell phone was tapped by the CIA and others, but, remember that incident? And not only, they all spy on all. It's not that the Chinese are the only ones, but these guys are the ones that point the finger and are morally superior. I knew that Americans were spying in everybody else's technology for a long time. And it's not only them. the Germans are doing, the French are doing, the Russians are doing. If you can't, that means you're impotent, not because you're superior. You're impotent. You can't do it. You don't have the brains. You don't have the means. That's the only thing. All right, and it says here that espionage and hacking operations by China as well as Chinese government's efforts to stifle dissent abroad. Who's talking about stifling dissent abroad and domestic? Huh? Can I say what I want to say here? What do you think? Or can I say that if I go outside in public? Yeah, I just censor myself like everybody else in the free speech country, a land of the free, a land of the brave. Make me laugh. Maybe it was before, but now I don't think that really qualifies to the same level. Sorry, it's just facts. And here, quote unquote, quote, I'm quoting, facts have fully proven that the US is the biggest threat to world peace, stability, and development. Zhao said, we urge this US official to have the right perspective, see China's developments in an objective and reasonable manner, and stop spreading lies and stop making irresponsible remarks. He's right. I'm not saying the Chinese are saints whatsoever, but, if this guy says something stupid and is called out, I will call him out. Ray's speech was particularly notable because it took place at MI5's London's headquarters and alongside the Energy Agency's Director General Ken McCollum in an intended show of Western solidarity. And I'm quoting, we consistently see that it's the Chinese government that poses the biggest long-term threat to our economic and national security. And by our, I mean both of our nations, along with our allies in Europe and elsewhere. Ray told attention. There's no allies. They are vassal states. There's no allies. Vassal. They do what you tell them to do. They can't tell you to do what they want you to do. And the example is NATO, when you have American troops in Romania, but you don't have Romanian troops in America or something. Why? Because the Romanians asked for it. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So McCollum said the Chinese government and its covert pressure across the globe amounts to the most game-changing challenge we face. All right, well, I guess. Says Beijing has now the last two paragraphs are about making sure that they cover for these two. But it says here, in response, Zhao said British intelligence was simply projecting their own dishonorable behavior onto China. The head of the British, I'm quoting again, the head of the British intelligence services should cast away his evil in mind, come out of the dark room and see the sunshine and not always hold on to the zero-sum thinking or set up so-called imaginary enemies, he said. Well, I think this guy is right. And Zhao on Wednesday slammed Blinken's comments, as Blinken commented again, at last week's NATO summit in Spain, in which the Secretary of State accused China of seeking to undermine the rules-based international order. Really? How about bombardment of Yugoslavia, Blinken? Who challenged that? Who undermined it? Yeah, who undermined the rules-based international order in Yugoslavia bombing? It was you. Not you. It was your government and the British and the other guys who participated, the defensive alliance, NATO. So, okay? So it's always you can point fingers at, everybody can point fingers at everybody. But some people think they're a little bit more superior, more equal than the rest, and they can say stuff. Why? Because the other countries do not dare to counter. But guess what? Unfortunately, these guys now get together and stronger. And with Russia doing what they're doing, emboldens other countries to join BRICS group. And not only, China has been verbal and, for some time already. And now it's just hitting back even stronger. You know why stronger? And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it. They are very intelligent. They could be evil, but they are very intelligent. I can't say the same thing about our team, unfortunately. I look at these guys' comments and logic or illogic and the way they reason, and I look at those guys. They are evil, but they're smarter. These guys are and they're not as smart. Sorry, that's my assessment, and I can say it unless they come and you know invite me to jail. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.